We're back. And we are the Ouch Doctors, and we're super glad to be here. I'm Dr. Steve. This is Dr. Tim, and this is gonna be a fun show. Before we get started, just a couple of words. First of all, our disclaimer is that we are not your doctors, and we're here to provide you with information and give you a better insight into the concepts that surround body-mind healing. And you can take some of this information back to your healthcare professionals and figure out what you want to do with it, and with the help of your trusted providers. We also want to let you know that we're both here and on YouTube, and we always appreciate those who decide to join us on YouTube, because that's a great place to go back and see our ongoing shows. And so subscribe. You do that by using that little red arrow in the bottom right hand corner if you're watching us there on YouTube. And of course, we always love your feedback. So if you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to jump in, share with us. We'll try to keep an eye on what's happening here in the comments section. It looks like there's already a couple comments, and it looks like Dr. Eric Swanson is in the house. So it's great to see you here, Eric.
And another ouch doctor.
And another ouch. He is the honorary ouch doctor, the original ouch doctor. So we're super excited. And now today's show is going to be some insights and some tools and techniques from yours truly, Dr. Tim Warren here, one of the ouch doctors, and he hasn't told me all the details of what he's got in mind. So I can't wait to see what we're going to be doing here today. So Dr. Tim, and wait, we have Eric making one more comment. He's a real doctor at Holiday Inns. Okay, there you go. Okay, guys.
Hey, thanks, Dr. Steve.
Yeah. What do you got for us here, Tim?
Well, we got a lot of stuff here. This is a subject that we haven't really broached quite yet, but I think it's quite important. And that's when people are in chronic pain, they don't naturally feel like moving their body. And why is that? Because we know, and Dr. Steve, you and I have said this many times in all our content, that pain is 100% in the brain and its pathways. So if you have a bad back, your pain is in the brain and its pathways. It's not in the back. If you have chronic pain in your big toe, it's not in your big toe. Pain resides scientifically in our brain and our pathways. But one of the sneaky things about pain is it decreases our energy, decreases our bodily strength because we're fearful that we're going to make it worse, and it decreases our just ability to move and to function and to be our normal self. Right. So we kind of regress into a small part of ourselves. We get small instead of living large. So that's a side effect of being in chronic pain. And I was kind of inspired to do this particular aspect of the ouch doctors by a comment a little while ago of someone online that said, "Hey, you guys are just doing online physical therapy." And I had no idea where that was coming, because that's the farthest thing in the world from the truth. But I thought, you know what, I need to kind of broach the subject with you, of course, Dr. Steve, with how do you safely get into some physical activity? And I'm just going to give you a heads up. Part of this demonstration today is going to involve me doing a dance called the Bad Wedding Dance. So heads up right there for that. That's going to be worth the price of admission right there. Awesome. Yeah. So backing up the bus a little bit, why do we have, when I say that pain is 100% in the brain, and that primarily the purpose of brain, as one of our mentors, Dr. John Sarno, said, is a distraction from underlying painful emotions, primarily fear, that we're trying to push down and get out of our life. And actually, the fear and the uncomfortable emotion is actually more painful than the actual chronic pain that we feel in our body. So that's one thing that our body is trying to do. Our body and mind are in cahoots to protect us. Our body feels like we're, in danger, and so
Oh, I'm losing Dr. Tim. I don't know if I'm losing me or not, but Dr. Tim seems to have frozen up
And
on
moving
me.
your body.
Are you
Am I
back?
frozen up?
You were for a
I'm
moment there.
moving
Now
right now.
okay. Now I see you moving. Okay.
Okay. All right. So these 4 activities are going to get people in chronic pain a little more confidence in moving. And that's supremely important just for natural health and also to progress and continue to get out of more chronic pain. So
Right.
without any further ado, let me just kind of start out with the first one. And the first one is called cross crawl. So cross crawl, when we were babies, our nervous system developed as we developed by when we crawled. That was brain stimulation, brain maturity, nervous system maturity by crawling. That's a very important thing of being a child and progressing in the world. Now, as adults, we hardly ever crawl. So this first exercise called cross crawl kind of helps us reestablish the brain and the pathways that will help stimulate our nervous system and get us energized, get us more confidence in moving our body. And it's pretty simple. So you're just going to put one hand, you're standing, one hand up, and the alternate leg back. And so you're balancing just on one leg, and you do this for about 15 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And it's great. And there's extra credit if you get a little out of balance and your body has to kind of fight to stay in balance, because that stimulates the brain and its spinal cord even further. So it's alternate arm, alternate leg, and then you switch over 15 minutes on the other side.
15 seconds, right?
15 seconds.
Okay. You said 15 minutes. I just wanted to make sure we're going to have to do 15 minutes.
So 15 seconds each. So it's a total of 30 seconds to do the cross crawl. And,
Okay.
and people have asked me, and this is very true, you can actually crawl around on the ground if you want to do that. You can get the same thing because you'll be using alternate arm, alternate legs, but you won't get the balance aspect of it, which is supercharges this very simple exercise. So 30 seconds of cross crawl. Now, the second exercise is called the bullwinkle. And the bullwinkle, you're going to take your thumbs and you're going to put it right behind, kind of like right behind my earbuds that I have on today.
Okay.
And there's a bump underneath the skull, and you're going to rub those bumps with both thumbs. Here's the bullwinkle right here. So when you do that, you're stimulating part of the brain that is the body's proprioception. Proprioception is our brain's ability to know where we are in space. Our proprioception is working just by walking down the street or doing anything in our life, but we can exercise that part of our brain by doing the bullwinkle exercise. So you rub that section. It's like it's part of acupressure, as a matter of fact. So by rubbing that, the next stage is to go up on your tippy toes. You can't see my toes, but I'm up on my tippy toes. And that makes my body a little bit more unstable and gets more stimulation, more exercise into the brain and its pathways. And then if that's too easy,
are you rubbing the bottom of those bumps or the sides of the bumps, or where exactly are you?
The tip of those bumps. And Steve, you'll know it as the mastoid processes.
No. So
but it's that bump that's kind of sticks down on right behind the ears. So that's the proprioception stimulating area.
Okay.
And if it's too easy to be up on your tippy toes, then go up on one foot. And that really puts you out of balance and it forces you to move around. You stimulate those bumps with your bullwinkle fingers, and that's super brain exercise. It's incredible the amount of input that focuses in.
Interesting. Yeah.
So that's the first two exercises.
The cross crawl really stimulates that kind of the neurological pathways that go from right to left and left to right. So you're looking at that integration and balance, and then you're looking at proprioception with this. And proprioception is our ability to know where we are in space, and again, that has an impact on balance as well.
Super important. And like you alluded to, we know that the left side of our brain controls the right side of our body. The right side of our brain controls the left side of our body. So all these cross-pollinate and really get a really healthy, stimulating input into the nervous system. So that's the first thing, is we're getting great nerve stimulation. And the second thing, and this is really important, it is going to give our clients with chronic pain confidence that they can get back to moving their body. That helps continue their healing and their chronic pain relief by getting confidence in their body again. Because remember, with chronic pain, your body's screaming danger at every second, but there's nothing dangerous. There's no danger there. It's just a blown fuse, for example, that we can reprogram by doing simple exercises. So the third exercise is, and this is going to be awesome for both of us because we spend a lot of time in front of a computer and everything. So this is great for people who sit too much out there in the world. And it's a super stretch for anybody that has chronic pain in the spine, especially the neck and the upper back. I call this one hitchhike to heaven. Let me demonstrate. So how do you hitchhike? You get your thumbs out. You're going to put your thumbs wide. And Steve, you can do this right at your desk where you sit.
Okay.
So thumbs out wide. You're going to turn those thumbs backwards, almost so you can feel your shoulder blades squeeze together. And then you're going to look slightly up in the air. That's towards heaven. And then you're going to do circles in your outstretched arms. And you're going to tighten those shoulder blades together. Try to squish your shoulder blades together. And you can feel such an awesome stretch across your lower neck and your shoulders. Steve, you'll know this is if we work some posterior deltoids on this, we do some traps with that.
Yeah.
But these are hard to get muscles that just get just tight and inelastic, inflexible the more time that we sit. So, and it's by stimulating those, we're also stimulating these little doodads that are in the neck and the back called mechanoreceptors. Yeah. And that sends further stimulation up into the brain. And it's like nutrients for the brain. The more we move our spine, the more it's like nutrients shot up to our brain. So again, why do we do this? Go ahead.
You were I was watching you do the circles with your arms, and it looked like you were going kind of up and back and up and back. Should you do it in both directions?
You can. I find a little more stimulation when I kind of do a backward circle.
Okay.
When I do a frontward circle, I'm just not getting as much stretch there.
Yeah,
when
I
do backward circles, I can really squeeze my shoulder blades together, and man, I feel it.
How long do you do that for?
30 seconds. So the cross crawl is 30 seconds, 15 seconds on each side. Yep. The Bullwinkle is 30 seconds total. The hitchhike to heaven is 30 seconds. Because all in all, this whole little system is a 2-minute exercise routine. And put down that Diet Coke or that extra cup of coffee in the afternoon. Do another set of these brain-waking exercises. Believe me, you won't have any desire to use any stimulants because you can do it yourself, and it'll be a really, really huge positive for your energy and everything. So
just these 2 minutes worth of 4 exercises, and people are feeling more energized, as well as better balance and more nerve stimulation. But there's actually a physical or an emotional thing that happens.
Yeah, and we know that chronic pain is our body's ability to distract, our body's distracting us from difficult emotions, mainly in the form of anger. But anger, fear, hopelessness. I think fear is actually related to anger. It's a close first cousin of anger. So it's the number one emotion that is painful that our body tries to distract us from is anger, because it's not socially acceptable to throw a plate against the wall or something like that, or go into road rage or something. So chronic pain it just forces us to push those difficult emotions down deep. And as we know from our training and everything and our content, Steve, we want people to focus more on those emotions and have more confidence in their body. So these 4 exercises give the chronic pain client way more confidence in their body so they can continue this healing road that we've laid out for us.
Now,
So
did we do four? I think we just did three so far, right?
we did three. I'm saving the best one for last.
Oh boy.
And that's the bad wedding dance. Now,
Oh,
perhaps, Dr. Steve, you've already done this unwittingly. I know I have.
uh-huh.
So here's the thing. I come from a very athletic background. I've been an athlete since I was 12 years old. And I was a runner for years and years and years and years. So my body was in this plane. I ran for miles, and I ran my first marathon when I was 16 years old, and I'm running like this. And cardiovascularly, I'm really healthy, obviously. But I thought when I was in college, ooh, I need to do some strength training too, because I'm just doing this running thing. Let me go and do some weights and things like that. And that allowed me to kind of exercise in different planes,
Right.
so that was helpful. And then when I first got into chiropractic practice, I thought I'm going to be a triathlete. I'm going to do triathlete. I'm going to swim. I'm going to bike. I'm going to run. So I swam and I biked and I kept running. But if you look, all that activity is in two planes. It's just in this plane and in this plane. And then about 10 years ago, I was in a neurology course, and they were talking about the feedback loop from your brain to the pathways and to the spine. The
Yeah.
entire spine is full of these doodads called mechanoreceptors that only get stimulated if you're putting some twisting into the spine. And I was like, oh my God, I've felt that I've been a great athlete my whole life, cardiovascularly strong, strength is awesome,
Yeah.
endurance, fantastic. But I was neglecting one of the most important parts of my brain and its pathways, which was some twisting in the spine that stimulates mechanoreceptors that exercises my nervous system, my brain and its pathways. So with that background, we landed on the bad wedding dance. So visualize this. What I'm doing, it's funny, and it's kind of like what's the woman who was on Seinfeld who was the terrible dance? Not Ellen. Forget what her name was.
No, you're Elaine.
Elaine. She had that segment where she was she was horrible dancing. But the purpose of this, if you look at it, is I'm twisting, putting a whole different plane of motion into my lower back with that part.
Yeah.
And that never happened when I was at the gym and running and doing triathlons. And then if you look at my top part, I'm looking over my shoulder very gently. Now, I'm not whipping this out just to get it done. I'm not going to cause injury to myself.
Right.
But very gently and under control, I'm going to the very edge, and then I put it together. And this way, I'm rotating the entire spine. And that's all that stimulation of the mechanoreceptors is going right up to my brain. My brain is flooded with endorphins, the natural opiates, feel-good hormones, and I've totally exercised my entire brain and its pathways because most of the mechanoreceptors are in the neck, the mid-back, and the low back. So that's the purpose, and that's the thought process.
Wow. This has been such an interesting show for me. I'm like, this is great stuff, and it's very practical. It's very usable. It's fun, and just the idea that somebody could commit themselves to 2 minutes. I mean, how hard is it to just take 2 minutes out of your day, and even maybe twice a day? I don't know what your recommendation is, or if there's a particular time of day. But it seems to me that any 2 minutes that you can grab between, like you said, between TV shows or something, and just going through that process. And as you said, for people who are in chronic pain, who don't necessarily have the capacity to go out and run or do significant exercise, this is still stimulating the nervous system. And as you said, releasing endorphins, which means that the natural painkillers are being released. And it's exercising the most important part of us, which is our brains.
Right, exactly. And since they're going through our programs, Dr. Steve, and they're learning all this other stuff from our Relief Rocket products and our coaching, this is an adjunct to supercharge all that brain activity. And by working the body in just these 2 minutes, that's going to be an adjunct to all the other material that they're living and learning and instituting into their life. So that's the thought process behind it.
I love it. It's fantastic. And look, Jen just gave us a wonderful compliment. I did a session with Jen recently to help her out with chronic foot pain, and she's been doing awesome. And by following the instructions that I gave her, and also having had me deliver the hypnotic process along with it. And that's really a good segue, I think, for us to talk just a little bit about the evolution of our new program.
Right. Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, well, of course, most of you are aware that Dr. Tim and I have created something we're very proud of, which is the Relief Rocket program. The Relief Rocket has been the name for a product that we created. It's an online product. It's designed in a series of modules that each contributes something else to natural pain relief, drug-free pain relief, mostly things pertaining to your mindset, how you can essentially use mindfulness, hypnosis, meditation, knowledge therapy, cognitive therapy, all together in a way that we've sort of proprietarily created to help you get out of pain and stay out of pain. And it works very, very well. One of the things that's not working very, very well is the name Relief Rocket. People seem to be pushing back against the name. We've had a couple of people say they thought it sounded like an adult product. Okay, I think that's more about you than it does about us, but such as it is. In any event, we're changing the name of the product, and all the same stuff will be there. In fact, there'll be more because we're adding in a couple new modules. It's new, it's improved. Some of what Tim just showed us will be part of the new program. No extra charge. And instead of it being Relief Rocket, Dr. Tim, do you want to lay it on everybody, or do you want me to?
Well, before that, I have to answer your previous question. You asked how often should you do the 2-minute brain wake-up call activities.
Okay.
And definitely once a day, these should be done. But if you're a chronic sitter like Dr. Steve and I are, then for every hour of sitting, if you could do the 2-minute brain wake-up call, your world would change.
Wow.
So I know a lot of people out there that are listening are people that are, and most of us, let's look at society right now. We're working at home, we're in front of a device, and we're hunched over, and our posture may not be that good, and our energy is not so great, and we might not be eating and using our nutrition as well as we do. So this is just an awesome way to pump up that brain and spinal cord and facilitate healing, gain energy, gain confidence in your body. And so for every hour of sitting, if you can do an extra 2 minutes, that's a small price to pay.
That's fantastic. One of the things that I've often instructed people to do who sit for long periods of time is to do like a brief meditation, like a 2-minute meditation, just kind of quiet, follow the physical experience of your body. Now, there's something meditative about what you're doing as well, because it's mindfulness. You're being mindful of what your body is doing. You're focusing on it. And I'm almost inclined to say, I would claim every other hour for myself. And I would say 1 hour, do these physical activities, another hour, maybe you just do like a walking meditation, and then, or a sitting meditation, and then back to this. But if you could just like commit yourself to that 2-minute investment once an hour, there's no question that you'd be more efficient, you'd get more done, you'd have a better sense of humor, and you'd be in less pain. So this has been just tremendous. So now let's go back to the name of our new product, or the new name for our product.
Right.
You want to do it?
No, go for it.
Okay. It's the pain switch. We just came up with that. It was like, how good a name is the pain switch? We were talking about how do you describe something without giving too much away about what it is or how it works? And I said to Tim, I said, it could be just like something like the switch. And then I said, woo, the pain switch. And he immediately said, that's it. It's the pain switch.
It.
And then, okay, could we give the inside joke on the subtitle?
I would say that we can.
We can, just because
Yeah.
just because you're our friends and we love you and we know we could trust you. So, it's the pain switch and you want to flip your pain off.
Of course, we're not focusing overly on the subtitle. We're focusing on the title,
Right.
but hopefully not unoffensive. But we got a chuckle out of it, so we figured we'd share that.
And I didn't make that up in order to be funny, but after I looked at it in writing, I said, flip the pain off. Yeah. So maybe some of you don't even get that, but I think it's funny. Anyway,
Yeah, right.
It's the pain switch to help you
Right.
flip the pain off. And it's just so exciting. We've had a number of people who have already gotten the program and started using the program, and we're excited about the results that people are starting to see. And if you're one of them and you'd like to share your experience, please share it with us. And I want to appreciate Jen for her response to our little joke. And
at least Jen has a sense of humor. Love that.
We knew that in going into this. So guys, we're pretty much out of time, unfortunately. We always love the time we spend with you, and it always goes too fast. But we'd like to invite you to join us again next week. I think we'll be just the two of us again. And maybe the week after that, we'll have a guest again. We've been enjoying having guests on the show for the first time. And you want to go back and watch those episodes, you'll find them, of course, on YouTube. So having said all that, Dr. Tim, train your brain.
Lose your pain.
Take care, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Be well.